Good morning, friends. It's me, Happy Chef Will of the Chef Big Willie Show. Gonna be broadcasting some more Demon Souls today on Sunday the 27th, 2020. Oh my God, we're getting so close to 2021, please. I hope you're all well and doing good and just staying safe, man. And we're getting close to getting through this stuff, so let's keep positive and keep enjoying the games and keep having fun. All right, so let's get started. We're going to be picking up where we left off last time, which was with our wizard build here. So let's go ahead and load that. I've got several different builds going on this game. I've been having so much fun. Let's see. I believe it was Lady Chef Dolph was our wizard there. I've got at least like 6 different builds going. I'd like to erase a couple, but I haven't found an ability to erase anything on this game yet. So, hey, I mean, I guess as long as they keep letting me make new ones, that's fine. But at some point, it'd probably be good to be able to erase some to fix the clutter. All right, so we got to go straight in. We're going straight into a boss fight up here. Last playthrough. So, guys, if you're wondering how we've got into this point at all with this character, remember that you can go to my previous broadcast on here. They're all archived on Twitch, and you can see exactly how we built this wizard and stuff. And we've cleared the Digger King area. We've cleared the Tower of Lateria. We do have a little bit more to do there, though, with some characters for our Pure White Tendency. Actually, you know what? That's where our boss fight is. That's right. We got a boss fight there. The final one. It's the final countdown. No, the final boss fight of this Lateria, not the final boss fight of the game. All right, so let's go. Here we go. The Ivory Tower. This is an interesting boss, too, because this one can actually be controlled by a player. They can actually select a player to come in and control this boss, which gives you a little bit of PvP in the game. And I think was a really cool idea because it kind of showed you how PvP could work and how a player could be quite a formidable challenger. All right, so as with any of the other sequences, towards the end, it's just kind of you heading towards the final boss fight. There are some enemies up here, though, so we will try to dispatch them. And that is a picture of the super creepy boss. Another thing, if you are chosen as the invader and you win this fight, I believe you get the head wrap. Now, a lot of people have asked me about the magical head wrap in the game. Kind of looks like a giant chef's hat. That actually increases your magic damage, and if you do get chosen, I believe that that's what you get as your reward for winning the fight for this guy. And that's the wrap right there. Looks like they're waiting for me. Whoa. Okay. And we're going to have a couple of these guys in our way here. So we'll use a little magic to deal with them. Or we can use our sword. Either way, we've definitely souped up our character pretty good over our playthrough. So I focused mostly on vitality, strength, and vitality, intelligence, and magic. And that was an actual human invader that has just invaded our world. Sweet. Oh, he returned to his own world. Now, there are 2 red phantoms on these stairwells, and they are actually pretty formidable, so we want to try to be careful when dealing with them. You can see the blood stains. People have been, yeah, there's one. And if you're using magic, like I'm using magic, then really be careful with their, especially if you have things that increase your magical damage, because it will also increase the magic damage you receive. So definitely keep an eye out. Powers. You can see they can almost one-shot me with that. I'm going to kind of use the wall to back off, hit them, back off. And just don't let them hit you with their blast. Alright, that's one down. Let's use our shield here. We're using the Adjudicator shield. I did add a couple points to strength to wield it, because it will let you get your health back. There should be one more of those guys. And just past this guy is a Crystal Lizard too. So if you take this guy out at range, then make sure you run the rest of the way up the stairs and you can get the Crystal Lizard up there. That'll drop you some good moon shades, or actually just moonstones, not the shade stones. Ain't no joke with that blast, man. Especially with me receiving more damage from magic. Now up here, yeah, here's that. See that lizard up there? He starts running as soon as you come to the top of the stairs. And they drop the Moonlight Stone, not the Shade Stone, the Light Stone. There's an actual difference between the two. And then this is the boss fight area, so let's make sure we are ready to rock and roll. Rock and roll! And let's check our rings here, because I have been going between the Fragrant Ring. We're going to actually put on the Ring of Magical Sharpness, which is going to give us a little bit more damage for our spells. And we could try to go in straight at them and like hit them with some of our power spells. Alright, let's see what we got here. And he's using like gloves. He likes to try to get up and kind of stun you out of stuff. Get a little distance to start. Alright, so let's get the Golden Demon Soul and head on back to the Nexus there. Coffee! Nothing like a good cup of confifi. Putting up to my obligatory swan dive spot. Actually, though, you know what? Let's go over to this spot first. So I still haven't picked up this one soul over here. See it down there? There's a renowned soul. On the one side, you get some, like, late moon grass, and then on this side, you actually get the renowned soul. This one's a little bit trickier. And, guys, word of advice on this. Be careful, because if you get, say you fall off and you die, then if you've spent enough time up here, your souls are going to leave your body where you fall and die at. So it could be tricky to get back to them without falling and dying again, and you could lose a lot of souls. So just kind of be aware. There are some rings you can wear that do mitigate falling damage, and actually Patches sells one there. And then it's just kind of getting to that one right there can be dangerous. Alright, and then just kind of pan the camera to see the one below. And if what I mean is like kind of early on if you're going for this, because I probably could take the fall damage. Well, not from this high up though, but at a certain point I could probably take it without dying. And then you're just going to kind of want to walk off and try to land on that. Boom, like that. And that'll get you a little soul over here. A little renowned warrior soul. Alright, now we'll go do our swan dive. Now we will go for our epic swan dive E. Swandivianus. I've been working on keeping my world tendencies white. So I've been definitely avoiding triple Indy. What? I don't know if you can ever get your health bar up high enough to survive that. Also, if you put points into dexterity, it mitigates fall damage too. So I mean, I guess maybe like a super high dexterity character maybe could take a super high fall wearing like the cat ring. Definitely possible. I've been wanting to do a dexterity build, the one that just focused like almost all on dexterity for using like a sticky compound bow with ultra range. I'm gonna try that pretty soon. Been working on a priest build also and a 2-weapon fighting build as well, and then also an overall strength build. Okay, so let's go and see if we can free that gentleman who was locked in the Tower of Lateria. We should have a white world tendency at this point. So what we got to do, actually, you know what, we got to go to the other spot first before we come back here. We got to go to the Upper Lateria first. So Upper Lateria first. I've been having so much fun with this damn game. It's, you know, it's the Souls games are awesome. You know, I'm glad I didn't just fall to my death right there. Watch that first step. It's a doozy. That could have been Splattered Chef. Kind of fun to cruise back through these levels too once you've kind of like mastered your character, you know, got like a lot of, really got your character strongly specced out. It's like, I am Chef Dolph, she Chef Dolph, Lady Chef Dolph, it's payback time. What? Don't forget those gargoyles do drop unknown souls. I've never seen them drop anything other than, I've seen them drop unknown warrior souls. I've also seen them drop unknown hero souls, but never anything above that. But still, like early on in the game, if you choose to come this route to Lateria, you definitely can get a nice soul boost. Oh, I got a message a second ago about how to be the PvP invader on that boss. What you do is you go to that tower, guys, the third tower, the ivory tower, and that's where you would use the dark stone. I'll show you just once I vaporize these guys right here. Vaporization. There we go. So what you would do is you would use this stone. Right. Did I pass it already? This ice, the black ice stone, you would use that when you're in the ivory tower, and that would give you a chance of being selected, depending on your level and the player's level. There are a couple of considering factors in that. Usually, I don't think you can invade a world if you're higher than 10 levels above the player. And I don't think you can be invaded by someone that's higher than 10. That guy always scares me. Dude, you just scared me, man. Alright. Now, if you have white world tendency, when you come up to this spot, this should be open up here. I'm pretty sure it will. Usually, to get your white world tendency up, you defeat bosses or, you know, like kill phantoms. And, yep, there it is. So this bridge wouldn't be here normally. There's even a message, I think. It says, if you have white soul tendency, you can proceed. That's what I'm talking about. So if you have white soul tendency at this point, this will be open up here. And you can proceed higher into the level. Again, one of my favorite looking levels. Just looks epic. I think that's one of the things that I love so much with the later Souls games, especially Dark Souls 3, where you see like these huge towers in the background, and anything you see you can actually like get to. I think that's super cool. Alright, so we've got the Prison of Hope cell key. That's what we needed right there. So now we're just going to make our way back. Probably by the evacuate miracle, you could you could travel straight back to the Nexus instead of having to backtrack too. At this point, I could start putting some points into faith if I wanted to, and kind of have like the ability to use miracles as well as magic. Like a straight up magic build is probably the easiest build to do in the game, and one of the most powerful. Especially for PvE, especially for player versus environment. Player versus player gets a little bit more challenging because, again, people are really talented at dodging. You know, we talked about that. When you're kind of squishy, you know, a glass cannon, and they specialize in dodging your shots, and then, you know, come and hit you with the Dragon Bone Smasher, can be a little bit frustrating being a mage in PvP. But PvE, you shouldn't have any problem just rolling through the game. Coffee. Yeah, I want to do maybe like I've got a ninja build going where I'm like, you know, like wearing kind of like ninja-esque clothes, and I'm using shurikens and 2-weapon fighting, and it's challenging, you know, because you don't do a lot of damage, so it really relies on you to have, you know, quick skills and get your parrying abilities up and stuff like that. But it's fun, and the backstab, some of the weapon animations are so redunculous. I was kind of thinking of doing like maybe like a kind of like a samurai build, using one of the katanas, like probably the Uchi katana is what I'd go with, because again, you could scale it with really high dexterity, and using like, you know, sharpness stones or different stones that scale to dexterity, like blade stones. Alright, so we're just going to head back to the prison cells here. We'll collect all the little souls from the gargoyles we blasted. See, that one gave us an unknown hero soul, which is actually a little bit more in the souls terms than you would get out of an unknown warrior soul. And this is how you get this cell open over here. So let's go back to the Prison of Hope now that we have the second key. Got started a little late this morning. I was waiting for my local fish restaurant to open, and I picked up a nice piece of mahi-mahi. I'm going to do mahi-mahi tacos tonight. Love the mahi-mahi tacos. One of my favorite versions of a fish taco. So we just got to kind of make our way around this area, and we do have some enemies up here that can be formidable. The Mind Flayers, especially if you're using like the Crisp Blade like I am, which will let you deal more damage, but also let you receive more magical damage. So don't underestimate these guys no matter what level you're at. And I'm my two equipment weapons, if you're wondering, are some spice. We like spice. I'm using the Crisp Blade, which I kind of switched to. When you have the Crisp Blade out, you're going to deal more magical damage, and it's for every colorless soul that you use at the Blacksmith Ed, you can boost the Crisp Blade up towards like up to level 5. So but at the same time, it also the taking more damage from magic effect goes up with it, but you also deal more damage, so it's kind of like a trade-off. And then I have a Crystal Falchion or not Crystal, Crescent Falchion. I always call it the Crystal Falchion. Crescent Falchion that scales, and that comes from Dark Souls. Kind of, the crystal weapons are the magic weapons and that, but the Crescent Falchion here actually gives you back magic, and it's a really nice weapon to just have and use. So I kind of just go between the two of them. And because the Crescent Falchion scales off of intelligence and magic, it can be real formidable for dealing damage. So you'll hear this guy we're going to save screaming, "Help me." So it kind of made me want to liberate him for a long time. There's a sub-quest in this game that's the Metastopheles sub-quest, and he'll give you certain people to murder. And for that, you can get like rewarded in colorless souls. So depending on how you're playing, like if you're playing for a White World tendency, and this is the guy we're coming to save right here. You are free!
Why, thank you. Thank you, kind soul. Please, take this fine piece of work. I have no use for it now. And thus begins my final, eternal rest.
And he gives you the dual rats ring. You know, and you could actually attack him if you wanted, and I think it would lower your world tendency. But the thing is, too, once you've gotten all the stuff you could get for having a White World tendency, I don't see any reason why you couldn't just wipe people out and switch your world tendency as much as you wanted. It would be hard probably to get it back to White World tendency, but, I mean, I think you could. Now, let's see. Don't I have one of those shards in here? Yeah, okay, so if you want to get back to the Nexus, and I would not waste these because it says I got 2, but I don't think I've had, I think maybe I've had 3 total the entire time I've played. So you can use one of these to actually teleport back to the Nexus, as long as you're not invaded. And I wouldn't waste those, though, guys. I would really, like, you know, that's, like I said, probably the second one I've used this entire playthrough. Oh, yeah, okay, Blaze Chick. Well, nice talking to you. And what we're going to do is actually, since we got the extra souls now and we're not really worried about leveling up too much, we're going to talk to...
Do you have further offerings?
We're going to go ahead and get the Evacuate Miracle. Now, this miracle costs 20,000, guys, but it basically lets us travel back to the Nexus anytime we want, just like we did a second ago, but without having to use those shard stones. So let's go ahead and put that in our our inventory. There's also some really good, real powerful miracles in here. So I might as well go over these while we're here right now. If you're doing a priest build and you want to wreck a magic user like my guy is, like if you just want to wreck a magic user, this spell right here, the anti-magic field, is so powerful and it's so dirty. It's one of the reasons I actually also really avoid PvP with my wizard, because the anti-magic field will prevent you from casting, and it actually travels with the player. So if a priest activates it on you and runs up on you, you're not going to be casting nothing while that's activated next to him. And then second chance, if you kill them, they come back with 50% health. That's another really powerful miracle. So those two miracles together, plus like regeneration here, which is basically what it sounds like, regeneration. Banish is real useful if you don't like being invaded. You can just send them right back to their own world. Takes a little casting time though. So they're like, people are asking me, is a wizard just womp over the priest? Not really. The priest, when really outfitted, can be one of the most devastating classes in the game, especially against wizards. All right, so we're getting back on the trolley over here, and we're actually going to go to a world that we haven't gone to yet in the broadcast, and that's over here. And let's see here in our... let's check our spell attunement, because I want to have Cure Poison, which is another one that you get from... Okay, I do have Antidote, which is Cure Poison. That's going to be really useful. If we scale up our faith a little bit more, we could probably have Evacuate and Antidote at the same time. Let's make sure we got that scaled on there. Make sure we have that attuned. You always want to make sure you got your spells attuned that you want to use, so you don't go into a fight, think you got a spell, and then you don't have it. So, yeah, see, it was a good thing I checked that out. Okay, so both of these only cost 1 to use, but we only have 1 slot open. So we're going to put Antidote on, and it's definitely going to be useful for this this area we're going into, because there's a lot of poison in this area. And then just make sure you have a Talisman of God somewhere in your inventory. I always just kind of keep one. It doesn't really weigh nothing, and you're just going to want to make sure you have one in case you need the Talisman of God to cast. And you can find a Talisman of God real early in the game just by going to this area here in the Shadow area. With the Shadowmen, there's a Talisman, just one of the first things you pick up when you're in there. All right, so let's head over now to the Archstone of the Chieftain. And this place is like, you get the feeling that this is like run down, you know, like the corrupted, like defiled would probably be the word I would use. If you don't have Antidote, guys, the Noble Lotus that like we just picked up there, for every Noble Lotus you can cure yourself from being poisoned. And, with this area, I would say just kind of really be aware. It's really easy to fall to your death in this area. There's a lot of... You're out on a lot of planks, and sometimes you're real high up. Sometimes the trash that you're walking on will actually collapse and stuff like that, so be aware. I think this is another thing that makes a faith build a little bit challenging. If you're doing a priest build and you're looking for blessed stones, this is one of the areas where you can come to farm them. But it's a pretty challenging level early on. I find myself often coming to this one, like with the priest, again, I'll come here early. This will be one of my first stops because you want to get through it. But you want to find myself coming here kind of later as a wizard. And they poisoned me. Very nice. So let's just go in and we'll use a Noble Lotus real quick to cure the poison. And I would expect to be poisoned a lot in this because there's actually parts of the level that are going to be poisonous as we get deeper into it. These guys love to knock you off an edge to your death, too. That's like their favorite. Guess I can start shooting these guys more with magic. Flame on! So I got my first pair of Turtle Beaches just a couple weeks ago, and I've been using them on both systems. I picked one up for Xbox, I picked one up for PlayStation, and I gotta say I love them because they do really let you know, like, when an enemy drops in behind you, like, you know, to like use your ears to tell where the enemy's at. I know, I'm always the last person on the trolley. Where to get on the trolley, chef? Definitely hear a lot of these guys. And we're poisoned again. That's what I mean. Nice, they gave us some Noble Lotus. Now these guys can actually give you plague, these things that come out of these monsters here. Out of those like pustule balls that we just like torched. I've actually been given plague before by them, which is never fun. So you definitely want to have it, and that takes a separate cure. That takes like the Widow's Lotus to cure that. Now that's some great gear right there, guys. We should definitely point that out. If you're playing as a priest or, you know, like a holy warrior type character, paladin, that's some good gear that you can get early on to wear. Lightweight. Looks cool. Definitely looks the part. You know, sometimes it's not so much as of the benefits of the gear as the aesthetics of it to kind of just get you in that flow, like, I am the holy warrior. Don't hurt this lady.
You there. Won't you please buy something? My poor child is hungry.
She's kind of funny. Every time you talk to her, she tells you about her hungry child and then charges you more and more for items. But she has some great items. She's got Widow's Lotus, which we were talking about for counteracting the plague. Definitely want to stock up on a little of that. And she's also got some decent weapons in here. There's a Talisman of God. That's what I was telling you about. You need to cast miracles. These rotten arrows, these are brutal. They're not the most damaging arrows, but they inflict your enemies with poison, and they can be brutal. Like, definitely going to bring my ninja bow using, kunai throwing, dual weapon character to pick up some of those for the short bow I got him wielding. Black pine resin is really good. It's like a stronger form than the red pine resin for inflicting flame. And pretty much all those weapons can be pretty effective too. Like, the halberd is really nice if you're doing like a heavy warrior build. It's a little bit slower than the wing spear. And the mace, early on, will actually slap the shit out of those skeletons if you're fighting skeletons. The priest build will start with...
My little one is a growing boy. Please be generous.
The priest build will actually start with the mace. So you can actually go to the Shadowmen area and harvest skeletons pretty early with the priest character without too much drama. They do not do well against blunt weapons at all. Now, these rats are the ones, guys, that will inflict you with plague. Because I just got plague inflicted to me from a rat biting me through the floor. Oh, wonderful. Let's get our Widow's Lotus there. And you can just see they're on their march towards us. They're kind of hard to see, too. Keep an eye out for them. Definitely fight those things at range. Getting the plague sucks. The only thing worse that I ever encountered in any of the Souls games was in Dark Souls 1 with the when you get cursed. Oh my god, I hated getting cursed. Excuse me. Furball. Getting cursed in the underworld down there, and then having to journey all the way up to the lady to be able to buy the cure for curse from the one vendor that sold it. Oh my god, because when you got cursed, it actually halved your stats. That was brutal. Think hard. So he's probably giving you a good tip, trying to tell you maybe not to run forward there. Looks like you can drop that maybe as a bridge across. Sounds like we're getting close to our first shock enemy. And they are a much larger goblin, a much more formidable enemy. See him in the background over there. We'll be able to mop the floor with him, though. Our magic is powerful. Now, you don't want me to get my ass kicked because I said, oh, yeah, no problem. We're going to stomp him. Well, we survived. You can kind of tell when those guys are close, too, because you'll hear their, like, big footsteps. Oh, more of these things. Definitely having access to fresh spice will be useful. You will be consuming a lot of mana. Could actually put our fragrant ring back on too. Drop our sharpness ring and put our fragrant ring on, and that will let us gather magic a little bit faster. So we're not using too much of our spice. The spice of life. Now, I'm pretty sure this is where the first boss is, so let's get our health up. And fire. This guy is weak versus fire. And we'll go ahead and use some of our spice here, our precious spice. Can't wait for the new Dune movie, man. I'm big fan, big Frank Herbert fan. Alright, and we're going to actually go back to our Ring of Magical Sharpness, which will give us more damage. This guy reminds me of the final boss from Resident Evil 0. Alright, so he's going to be down below, kind of shooting up at you. And what you want to do is kind of work your way down to him. Definitely don't fall down there, like straight down, because you'll probably die from the fall. So you kind of got to work your way around the room. If you're using a magic character, or if you're using a range character with fire arrows, this guy's really weak versus flame. So once you can kind of start targeting him, and watch for his shots, and then just kind of light him up when he misses you. He's actually one of the more simpler bosses. Unless you have to go down and fight him. Like melee up close, you better have some powerful weapons when you get to this guy, because he'll also regenerate health over time. So I'm going to try to beat him down as quick as possible. And this should do it. Not too bad again. Kind of what I've been saying. If you're doing a magic build, and like if it's your first time playing Souls, and you want to kind of, get a feel for the game and be able to, womp on the enemies without too much pain, I definitely recommend going a wizard build. It's pretty powerful. Not the strongest for PvP, because again, spells that'll yeah, I find that when I'm PvPing with a magic build, I get countered a lot by faith builds. A lot of people using anti-magic field and some of the other more powerful faith build spells. And let's go back this way though, because we should be collecting his soul here. We had to fall over that. Sucker Stone Shard. And I'm not saying that a wizard can't win in PvP, because you absolutely can. It's just people are pretty talented at dealing with wizards, so. Especially, you got to realize this game's been out since 2008, and there's some people I know that have been playing it periodically, since 2008, and they came straight over to this game, and they are formidable. I mean, my one buddy, he don't wear no armor. He just goes straight at everybody with a super powerful weapon, and is fucking brutal. I feel like I missed the spot where I was supposed to collect that guy's soul. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. Over here. Usually you kind of see like a defined spot where you can teleport back to the neck. There it is. I think that's it right there. There we go. That's what I was missing. I knew it was around there somewhere. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Now, let's go over real quick to the Sage Freak and to the Witch Yuria, because each time you get a spell off these guys, or a soul, I mean, off one of the enemies, you might see the ability to get a spell for that soul. So if you're doing a warrior build, guys, but you have a little bit of magic, that cursed weapon right there is one of the most powerful spells in the game. It can double your damage with a super powerful weapon. Like, it could take a 600 damage weapon to like a 1200 damage weapon. So Cursed Soul is definitely something to point out. We just got the Golden Demon Soul, I think. Or maybe we... I know. We got that off the earlier boss we killed, not off the slime boss.
If you are ever in need of
Soul Thirst is nice, though, because it allows you to get a lot more souls, especially if you're farming.
Bravo, thank you. Let me pass on.
Now, this guy will probably have acid. Let's see, it's is it Poison Cloud? Okay, Poison Cloud. Now, Poison Cloud, this is another one of those spells that can make PvP as a wizard a lot easier, or even say you're using a thief or something, but you're having a little bit of magic. Here's the thing, though. I kind of hold out off of Poison Cloud because I like Death Cloud, and it's a different soul to get Death Cloud, but you're only going to have a couple slots. But Poison Cloud can be effective for chipping down a really strong boss too. So I mean, it's not a bad spell. I just want to kind of point it out because where it is good, I do like Death Cloud a little bit better, but Poison Cloud is definitely an effective spell. All right, so do our obligatory triple Lindy here. And if you're wondering what the triple Lindy is, I've referenced it a lot. Every time I jump, I kind of reference the triple Lindy. It's worth it if you've never seen Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. It's worth it to watch the movie. It's a great old school movie. But you could also always YouTube the end of it. You just probably type in like Rodney Dangerfield's dive or triple Lindy on YouTube, and they probably have the 2 minutes of the dive. But it is hilarious. When I was a kid, it was one of my all-time favorite movies. That was one of my favorite things back in school, was when you'd have your parent come to school day. My dad used to come and he'd have everybody laughing. It was always so fun to have Dad come to school. All right, so we've got our souls back. And let's check our item level here.
I was worried sick.
Organize our stockpile. I just want to make sure I get some of these stones out of my inventory. Remember, you can use those stones at any blacksmith. You don't have to have them in your inventory. You just got to pick them up and then put them in the inventory here with Thomas. You don't actually have to have them on your character to use them at the blacksmith. See the Saints robes I was telling you about when we picked those up? Those look awesome. I kind of like wearing them on my, my faith build. But you might like heavier armor and stuff like that too. I mean, you can always do that. But if you want a really versatile, cool looking.
You fight on our behalf.
One of the things I also like too is when you talk to her.
The power of then touch the demon. Soul of the mind.
Okay, we need a lot more to level up.
I shall await thy return, Slayer of Demons.
Kind of move around the room. All right, so back to the Swamp of Sorrow. Now, definitely by this point, guys, if you don't have the antidote spell, make sure you have a ton of Noble's Lotus in your inventory. It's easier to have the antidote spell, and in the long run, it's going to cost you a lot less. You're definitely going to want to have that in your inventory for this upcoming spot. I love this level. It's just another, kind of like what you would see with the Dark Souls games and stuff later, where when you see something way out there, and it's not just background stuff, that you can actually journey out there. And I love how they've done that with this like giant cavern with a little bit of light streaming in. It's a beautiful game. It's definitely one of the more cinemesque games. Cinemesque, I don't know what the hell word I was going to say, like cinematic, I think. Or picturesque, but instead I combined it into cinemesque. I do enjoy a good Cinnabon. Hey, I'm drinking my Confifi right now. Oh. And careful falling off around here, guys. You'll see like where you can go off to get stuff, but once you kind of go off, you are kind of committed at that point to below. So just kind of, know where you're going to fall. Know where you're going to fall, my friends. As our great viewer the other day was saying, Gravity, the #1 killer in the game. Gravity, the strongest boss. So, what poisoned me? The ground. Literally, this entire swamp you're walking through, guys, is poisonous. And you're going to get poisoned periodically walking through here. Like, you can get on dry land in different spots, and it can be a little tricky to navigate. And one of the things I want to kind of recommend, if it's your first time coming in the swamp, you might want to leave these till you actually kind of get used to the layout of the swamp, because they'll kind of at least give you some guide points, because it is easy to get lost in this swamp. It is easy to be like, where the hell am I in the swamp? So that's a great ring right there. That's why I came over and picked it up, though. That's the Regenerator's Ring. And again, I kind of feel like the swamp is one of the places you want to come to early in a priest build. You'll definitely have to figure out how to get past the leech monster, but using flaming arrows, having a little bit to where you can use a bow or anything like that could definitely be something to help with that. But like the Regenerator's Ring, and then it went later as you start harvesting Blessed Stones. Now, anytime you get to an island like this and you cure yourself, Noble Lotus, you are safe now on this island until you go back in that swampy muck stuff. And yes, those things are enemies down there, so they will do their best to make your day sad. Once in a while they'll drop you some more Noble Lotus and stuff. And I found if you kind of stand towards the edge, you can kind of sucker those guys in and barbecue a whole group of them at once with like with your flame spell here. You got different rings that could help too in this area, like rings of poison resistance, stuff like that. And it was basically about as quick as you step into that muck, about within like 3 seconds of stepping into the muck, you are going to get poisoned. What I kind of try to do is like kind of navigate to where my next spot's going to be. So you can kind of see that once you get through that group of guys over there, there is like another island of filth like this that we're on right here. And do not underestimate these little jerk weasels here, because they can be formidable. Some are just shells, but some will actually attack you. And they'll just spin, and if they kind of get around you and attack you, they can be jerks. All right, so let's heal up as quick as possible so we don't lose too much health. Here. See how they're attacking, and if you get a couple of those guys around you with that, it can be actually pretty formidable, the amount of damage, because they'll kind of all get around you and hit you. And you can kind of see the next island over there. Like, if you look just kind of past that fire, that's where you're going to go. Eventually, though, you're going to get to a couple of those giant goblin shamans. So you want to definitely be ready to fight. So I wouldn't journey over there, like, in a weakened state, you know. You can also see that there's some, like, soul items out there, kind of letting you know that there's stuff out there to get. And there's a very formidable dark spirit at the edge of the swamp over there. You can actually circumvent it from where you drop in. This is where we dropped in over there, guys. You can actually go along that entire wall over there, and you won't have these little mushroom guys attacking you, or jellyfish squid things, but you will be being poisoned the whole time. So if you're going straight to fight the Phantom, you could actually hug that wall all the way around to fight the Phantom. I'm just kind of plowing my path through to where we'll actually head to the next part of the level. Storied hero soul, that's always useful. You can see with how dark it is and then the enemies, it's easy to get, like, overwhelmed in this area. That's kind of why I wanted to point it out to you guys. Alright, let's go ahead and move on this way. If you're getting really low on Noble Lotus, just kind of try to look for these spots. You know, gather this stuff. And there's the Dark Spirit I was telling you about, guys. That Dark Spirit is formidable. One of the things about the characters, they hit harder than hell. Probably could one-shot my present character. And they also move really fast. And you're kind of encumbered in the swamp. So it's one of the tougher characters to take out. If you can fight them at range, that's one of the options. If you can try to, you know, fight them at range. See that right there where I kind of staggered? That's because I hit the roll button while in the slime. It will not let you roll in the slime. So if you're used to, like, rolling to avoid enemies, again, that character can become quite formidable. Alright, so what we want to do here is come over to our Noble Lotus. And at a certain distance, you'll actually see her start moving towards you. I don't know if I'm in range of her now, but we'll know because, yeah, I think I'm in range of her now. I think she's making her way over to come whoop my ass, which is all right because I got a surprise for her. Oh yeah. So what we want to do is fight on this little slime rock here. Yeah, she's definitely coming this way. She's freaking formidable, guys. See what I mean? Dead. Alright. So we'll go back at her, and what we'll do is we'll take probably Soul Ray, try to shoot her at range, and then try to lure her into coming forward into a blast. And we'll actually take the faster route over to her over there. But that character, that little Phantom there is no joke. Two-shotted me. 2 shots, and then when I was in the swamp, once I ran out of my little island to fight on, there was nowhere to even go to, you know, so that is definitely a character that I've found to be challenging in this game. It would have been nice if my my fire spell would have hit, but it didn't hit, so that's unfortunate. Fortunately for me, death. And I've talked about it a lot in this game. You're definitely going to experience death, so don't let a death get you down. Death happens. Ooh, Meridian Hammer. It's one of the best hammers in the game right there. I'm glad we came back this way to pick that up. If you're doing a warrior build or a faith build, a blessed Meridian Hammer, so formidable, guys. And remember when I was telling you that you can kind of make your way over to that character without having to go through the whole swamp way to the right? Well, you can come this way. That's what I was talking about hugging the wall. I had a feeling I was going to get wrecked by her. That character has beat my ass a few times. I'm going to try to go get our vengeance. We'll definitely go get our souls back. Legendary Warrior Soul is real nice to get too, guys, so definitely come over and get that Legendary Warrior Soul. And just kind of think of this giant swamp as like a big circular swamp. You can already see where we died at, where our souls are at over there. One of the things we could have done too is have the warding spell on that would have mitigated damage from melee attacks. That probably would have been useful to have at this point. Alright, so we're back to where we lost our souls, and just like she made her way over last time to us, even though she may not look like she's looking at us, she's going to come over this way to whoop our ass. For sure. For sure. So might as well prep for our little fight here. I might try to hit her at range with Soul Ray a little bit. She's kind of hard to lock onto, though. And once she gets close, she's ready to kick ass. She's coming this way, too. She's coming to fight for sure. And the thing about it is she moves real freely through the swamp, whereas you don't move freely through the swamp. So it's like... Come on, lock it. And she likes to dodge spells. And she's got a lot of health. But, at the end of the day, the power of our Soul Ray could not be denied. Now, that's a Faith Stone chunk, guys. If you're doing a priest build, that's going to be super useful for upgrading your weapons to blessed weapons. Cat ring's a very useful ring. Now that's the ring that Patches is actually selling for 40,000. Let's take a quick look at it. And it decreases your damage from falls. So remember when I was telling you that with a high level of dexterity you could survive pretty much any fall in the game? Well, that would definitely help if you were wearing that ring. And Patches sells it for 40,000 souls, but pretty much anything that they sell for an exuberant amount of souls you can buy. But in theory, you could buy the one from Patches, then have that one on, and actually take some really long falls, especially if you stacked up your dexterity. So some items that you might be like, well, how the hell would I fall to get that? It might be the ticket to doing it. Now, if you look out there straight ahead of us, there's a couple little soul herbs to get, but you also can start seeing the shadow outline of one of the big troll guys. And that's when you'll know that you're kind of towards leaving the level, because those two troll guys are actually at the end of the level when you'll transition to the next part. Not the actual end of the level, but the end of being in the swamp is what I should say. This actual level goes down for a lot farther to the next boss. these jellies do really well is kind of sneak up on you. And when you get a couple of them stacked up like that, see how they spin and stick out their tentacles? They're not to be underestimated. Now, when you get close to this area, guys, definitely get ready for a fight. See the big guy behind the little guy out there. You're not going to have a lot of room to really maneuver around here. Do whatever it takes to really stack your character up in your health. And they move fast, and there's two of them out here. So if you... See how fast he moves? And he's got a hell of a range. Bastard got me. I'm so used to rolling from danger that I hit the roll button, but that's like the worst possible thing you can do. I have to go back and grab some more health items out of the box. That area definitely consumes the health. We've died twice there now, and that's more than we died in the entire playthrough up to this point. That's why I kind of go to that spot last. Unless I'm doing a faith build, because a faith build you want to get in there and get in there early. Alright, so let's grab some of our good healing items out of here that we've been stockpiling. Go ahead and grab some full moon grass, grab some late moon grass. And, alright.
You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
Well, thank you, Thomas. We don't want them to take our heart of gold.
Thou seekest the power of the soul, no? Then touch the demon inside me.
Kind of like how your character's like looking up to her. It's like awesome. All right.
I shall await thy return, slayer of demons.
It's a great voice acting. All right, back to the Swamp of Sorrow. Definitely know why they call it the Swamp of Sorrow. It makes us sorrowful. I would not let death stress you out, though, in these games. Just the one thing you want to do is kind of figure out how you're always going to get back to your souls. Even if you're, like, about to die and you can start kind of running back towards a spot that'll make it easier to get your souls, that's really the whole core of the game, is that death's going to happen, but losing your souls is like double death. It's like insult to injury. It's like, not only did you die, but you lost like the whole purpose, everything you collected that could potentially make you more powerful. So definitely figure out the best ways back to getting thy belongings, thy hard-earned souls. Also, don't be in a rush. I found that I've lost more souls out of impatience and being like, God, I died. Oh, I gotta go back and get my souls. Ah! And then rushing back there, that's like the key to disaster. Let's make sure we spec out our stuff here. We're going to go ahead and move our age spice since we have so much regular spice. And let's put that herb that really heals the hell out of us in there, that full moon grass. So basically the way it goes, crescent moon grass is your weakest healing object. Half moon grass is your second most powerful or second weakest. Then, you know, late moon and then full moon will basically almost heal you all the way. You know, that's another thing though that I think separates this game too from the Souls games is that I think it's can be a little bit easier in that regard because you have so much health items. I think that's why they made them kind of heavy and put item burden in the game where it's not just your equipment burden, but that your items burden you as well. You know, I'm just kind of making my way back towards... What I want to try to do is get to a spot where I can engage those sons of bitches without being too close to them. Because those giants, they have such great range, you can't roll once you're in the swamp. See where our souls are at with the blue light over there, so that should kind of let us know exactly how close. Alright. I had a question on Facebook on the Chef Big Willie Show profile over on Facebook about streams and stuff that I'd recommend for this game. Fighting Cowboy does a great stream. He's actually real enjoyable. He really likes to PvP and he does little fight clubs and stuff like that. Definitely enjoy his stream. And also the Fextra Life guys. They're some of my favorite streamers for this game. Let's go kick this guy's ass. Or get our ass kicked. Oh, probably the latter. Damn. I was getting scared for a sec. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's gonna stomp my face again. The swing and the range of their club makes those guys very formidable. Okay, one more tip too, guys. You see how there's like stuff out there in the background? You actually have to go through a little area to get to that area. So don't like walk back and forth along that fence thinking you're missing something. That's actually kind of like the next area that kind of divides the swamp. Let's use some of our Noble Lotus here. Ah, Noble Lotus. And when I was talking about the swamp being divided, basically that barrier right there goes all the way along this cavern and kind of divides the swamp. So now we're on like the second part of the swamp here. These things suck. Alright, well that'll give us time to go over here and get this stuff. Thief ring, great ring. Alrighty. Kind of reminds me of the Bog of Eternal Stench from Labyrinth. Dark Moongrass, very useful. Dark Moongrass is kind of like your ultimate grass. Alright, just kind of examine around now. I'm going to make it back over to where those bugs are at. There is a path out of the swamp. We might have to go a little bit ahead to find it, but there is one out here. I know because I've fallen in the swamp before and then panicked and been like, oh God, please let me get out of this swamp. Here we go. Buggies, hasta la vista. Two of those jerk weasels up there, those big sons of bitches. I'm just trying to lock onto him. Those goblin shamans right there, the guys that were like poisoned green, those are where you're going to get those stones. Let me show you right here in the stones. The holy stones, and these are what you're going to use to do like a faith build. So those guys you can start farming, you know, basically coming back here. I would come back to them, though, from the other way than coming back through the swamp that we just went through, that whole big-ass swamp. I would come back after you do the boss fight to get to them. And don't hurt this lady again. So this is the second time you'll encounter her. Let's do some Noble Lotus, because I think we're poisoned. Yes, we were.
Hey, I need to buy something.
And her stuff, her prices get more expensive sometimes, which is pretty funny. She's got, I think she has more stuff now, doesn't she? Yeah, now she's got the Meridian armor and the scale armor. This is some really nice armor. If you play as a Temple Knight, I believe it's actual armor you start with. I think it's a Temple Knight's armor. Sure looks like it. And then look, she sells Faint Stone shards for 10,000. But having that weapon that's blessed, a blessed weapon, can start giving you back so much health.
Just like the children of the poor.
And what I've seen is some players using dual blessed plus 10, you know, like great swords, that it's like ridiculous how much health they're getting back, you know. This guy's swarming. And they put. A shaman. They like to cast that poison cloud. So we got some stuff below us, and we got some stuff above us. just basically enemies everywhere around here. Goblin Shaman. And those are the guys that you can farm for Faint Stones. All right. Kind of gathering up stuff. Let's make sure we're healed up. And let's go ahead and use a Noble Lotus. We are almost to the boss fight. I know the swamp area is huge. It's like kind of, you just got to kind of deal with it, you know. I definitely recommend coming here when you're well prepared. I mean, this character's, you know, got, you know, a lot. I put a lot of points into this character, so I'm just saying you're going to probably want a more experienced character in this area. Back into the bog of eternal slime. Dark Moongrass, super useful. Dark Moongrass again, super useful. Dark Moongrass will like heal you almost completely, and it will also knock off any status effects, so it's kind of like the ultimate grass. It's also super heavy as far as like item bearing goes. Nice, Faint Stone Chunk. So again, definitely, like, if you're doing a priest build, this is going to be somewhere, and you're going for those blessed weapons to consider coming as early as you think you're ready for it. Having the antidote ability, and then also using, like, the, you'd probably want this Crescent Falchion I got so that you can regenerate. Or at least a fragrant ring so that you can regenerate MP so you can constantly keep healing yourself and stuff. Alright. Now this should be the boss fight, the second boss fight here. And let's go. Dirty Colossus. Look at another guy that's and that's why we like the flame spell. Oh, Firestorm, so formidable in this game. Definitely don't underestimate taking the Firestorm route. If you choose not to go Firestorm and you choose to go with Fireball, Fireball's nice because it's got range. You don't have to get so close, but it doesn't hit nearly as hard as Firestorm hits. So that is the trade-off between the two. Back to the Nexus. Oh, ouch. Watch that first step. It's a cankle breaker. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I think a lot of people use this path to off themselves because you see all the bodies. Oh. Alright, and we do have enough souls to level up, but one quick detour real quick. So, if you get the sword Makoto, and you have a white world tendency, then this gentleman will be behind the skeleton right here.
I am Satsuki. Have you seen the sword? I will offer you demon swords, if you can.
So, he says, hey, I'm interested in Makoto. Well, if you have white world tendency where you found Saint Urbane, Makoto will be there. So let's go back to the Nexus. And we're going to stockpile Thomas where we left Makoto.
Oh, thank you. I was worried sick.
Deposit some of these things we don't need. Viridian Hammer, Show Tool. And then let's go to our storage. Now, man, look how badass our storage is, dude. We have so many sweet swords and stuff we've picked up. And guys, just because you're playing as a wizard, no reason you can't spec your characters out to use any of these swords at any point.
I'm indebted to you for you fighting on our behalf.
So he's requesting his father's sword.
Yes, this is she. This luster, it's finally mine. But there is only one way.
And if you want the trophy for it, just remember, he's going to come try to kill you. As soon as if you don't give him the sword, he's going to come try to kill you. If you do give him the sword, he's going to come try to kill you. But, you know, get you a trophy, so why not? Kind of sad. Like, as we were talking about the other day with Dark Souls, or Demon Souls, Dark Souls, sadness is often the price.
Thou seekest the power of the soul,
I
no?
like how your character's like looking at her,
Touch
like
the
the
demon inside
graphics
me.
are, it's like looking up at her like.
Soul of the mind, key to
Alright, so we've got our intelligence to 40. After 40, guys, I don't think you can get any more magic memory slots anyway, so I kind of basically capped my intelligence at 40. We've got our magic at 41, which you can still take magic up. You'll actually, if you look over at magic power, you'll actually see that going higher, plus your other physical stats and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can still keep taking magic up for more damage. And then vitality, which has been really what we've kind of focused on this whole time for our build here. And really not a bad choice on any of them. You could also start filling in other things like endurance, strength, dexterity, faith, luck, whatever you want it, really. Really doesn't matter. You know, it's just kind of like how you like to play your character, you know.
Art thou finished? May thy strength help the world be mended.
Dude, I think our character looks so badass. Alright, let's go. So now we got the big boss fight on slime level. Okay, to the Rotten Haven. All the dead warriors.
Go forth, Galvin. May you be unharmed.
They talk about these two. A lot of the people, like if some of the NPCs you've saved, like Sage Freak or Saint Urbane, and like these two, Garlvinian and Maiden Asteria, they talk about them at the beginning of the game, saying that they came to try to save the kingdom. And so it's interesting how they've kind of become like super corrupted. Now, if you drop in and you go straight at her, you're going to have to fight her and Garlvinian. What I recommend is you come over this way where the Garl is and you fight him instead. And he's kind of an interesting character because you want to use like whatever you got that'll kind of give you some chip damage on him. And then when you get him, really close to the edge of death, go over and use your flame storm spell on it. Because otherwise she'll heal him completely. She'll just like snap her fingers and he'll be 100%. What they're kind of waiting for you to do in this fight is drop in and fight her so they can drop him in behind you. Don't play it that way. Make sure when you get him about halfway that you take time to fill your magic back up completely. If you try to fill your magic back up when he's got barely any health, she will heal him. And then just kind of guesstimate. I would say when he's got about a quarter health, now go in for the firestorm on him. See, he healed up. Son of a bitch. Alright, that's alright. That's fine, Mr. Garland of getting healed. No problem. We'll just chip you down again. One of the nice things about having a lot of mana. But you want to punch his ticket when you finish him. You want to really... I like the flame spell for it because it'll take him out all the way before he gets a chance to be healed. Do our mana refill here. Mana refill. Mana refill. Let's see if we got him right about here. Let's go up and try to take him on. Might have to do it more than once. Definitely make sure you get his armor. That's some of the sweetest armor in the game for magic resistance. It's just overall some of the best armor in the game. And once you kill him, just come on down this way. You will get plagued, of course. You do have a cure for plague. But you'll just get plagued again. But just make sure you use the plague when you get up close to her. You see how fast my health's dropping from plague? It's super fast. I actually, the first time I killed him, and I went down there, you know, I thought she might have something to talk about, so I like standing there and I died from plague before I finished the conversation with her.
Now see, then touch the feet. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Strength, art thou finished?
Yes, my
May
lady.
thy strength.
Alright, now up this way. Let's get some items from Patches here.
Don't mention it.
Definitely going to want some more fresh spice.
Yep, I'm that good. You can thank me later.
Make sure you have a lot of fresh spice. Ouch. Gravity. Oh. Alright, so one last thing to do back there, though, is to go back to where you just took her out, to the Sanctuary of the Lost. There's actually some items in there. And, of course, we're, like, plagued as soon as we step into Sanctuary of the Lost. So if you want to come in from the other side, you can do that, too. And then you can always cure plague with Dark Moon Grass, or... But, I mean, think about that, guys. If you dropped in to fight her, besides all these little bastards here, besides being plagued and everything else, then you've got them both working you over, plus plague wearing you down. That's why I recommend taking the Garl Vinland route. It's a much more straightforward fight than trying to drop into all this muck. Plague babies suck. But like anything, you know, when you want to get the good items, Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, no plague babies. Yeah, they remind me of something out of like Dead Space. Pure Marrow Stone, so that's a pure stone. Pure Mercury Stone. So depending on what weapons you're scaling out, pure stones are always the final stage. You always need one pure stone to take a weapon to its final stage. Legendary Hero Souls, worth a ton of souls. You gotta fall to get that one from above. There's the Spirit of Garl Vinland. Can fight him again. Yeah, let's go kill Garl Vinland. a lot more health, it looks like. And we're doing less damage to him this time around. Reminds me of something out of Star Wars where it's like, in death, I will be more powerful than you ever knew. Like, he's come back now as, like, super powerful spirit Carl Finland. Let's try to take him on fire straight. Oh shit. And then just send this back to storage. The Vinland Crest and the Brand, two of the best weapons, one of the best shields, one of the best clubs. Again, though, with magic and a really spec'd out powerful magic character, we're able to, you know, take him out that way. But if you gotta go up and fight that guy with your sword, good luck. One of the things that you could use, though, poison arrows. Different spells that, like, work them down that way. There's a pure sucker stone. And let's go ahead and use our last archstone. Look at the stats on this hammer. Oh yeah, I just sent it back to the thing. That's right, way too much. I was like, wait a minute, where'd it go?
I was worried sick.
So, put Makoto in storage here. Brand out. Right, get her burden down here because her burden's super high. The Brand. Look at this thing.
We are indebted to you. For you fight on our behalf.
36 to strength to wield, and it default scales by B to the so it's already at. It's just such a brutal hammer. If you upgrade it and use colorless demon souls at the smith, it's formidable. Just like
Oh, thank you. I was worried sick.
if you're doing a like a faith build, and then hold on, let's go put that back over here. Switch to storage. The club's real nice too. Where's the Meridian Hammer? There it is. Meridian Hammer. This is one of the best weapons in the game right there. Especially to like scale with like Blessed.
Indebted to you, for you fight on our behalf.
I can forge weapons for you.
So like you take the Meridian Hammer up strength wise, it's fantastic. But also scaling it in
You come back alive.
for it's just a great weapon. The moveset on it's brutal. People love that for PvP. Alright, so let's drop that off though, because we are playing the wizard.
We are indebted to you, for you fight on our behalf.
Well, thank you, Thomas. You're a wonderful guy. Thomas is awesome. Alright, onward with our quest for greatness. Valhalla!
No, don't mention it.
Talk to Patches, gear up. Definitely want to keep our fresh spice up there, and also our full moon grass and our wood moon grass.
Yep, I'm that good.
Now back to Boletaria. Do not underestimate the spot in here, guys. This spot can be really intense. Definitely take out those guys. You can see that like all hell's broke loose here. Now, those are 3 of the bosses you fought in their spirit form. And one of them's equipped with a super freaking brutal bow, and she will just hammer out arrows at you. So what you want to try to do is kind of do what we just did there and lure them out one at a time if possible. Taking all 3 of them on at once, very formidable. That should give you kind of an idea of what it's like to fight a human with magic. Except for a human would roll about 100 times more. That's a penetrating sword you get off him. That's a great sword. But, yes. See if we can lure out the Tower Knight. I'm trying to get them one at a time. See how fast she rips out arrows? She also uses Firestorm. Just try to fight the Tower Knight away from her. These are basically heroes that were like either the King of Boltaria's men or had come into the area. Some of them, like the levels, are named after some of these guys. He actually stopped by animation on that spell. Brutal. That's never good. You run out of magic. You believe in magic. All right. We're collecting stuff like we've just got. Like that's like our second tower shields. That shield's so powerful. Finally, the bow girl. Watch her if she gets close to you, because she will activate that that Flamestorm spell. And she is super fast with how fast she cranks out arrows. You can melee her sometimes, too. If you get up close. It's actually easier to melee her than anything. And she'll give you one of the best bows in the game, the white bow. Alright, now in our inventory, key, prison keys. Okay. There's a pure hardstone. That's really nice if you're doing a power build. Do not underestimate this room, guys. This room is a room of death. A lot of formidable knights and archers and assassins. So you dropped him below us. Assassins are brutal. They've got a kick they do that's devastatingly powerful. There it is. That kick right there where they hit you with the roundhouse. And they like to throw daggers. Not to be underestimated. Those sons of guns are tough. I actually find them harder to fight as a warrior because, like, they'll just roundhouse you right out of your shield. So now we have the full set of blue knight gear that you find basically scattered throughout all the Boletaria. Make sure at this point, guys, you have a lot of spice, or you have some weapons that can regenerate magic, because you're going to have to get this guy to about half health here. And then he'll take off. You can't kill him right here, but you have to get him to about half health to get him out of the way. Kind of only shoot for his head once he starts spraying fire, because otherwise you'll like basically waste your spell. Let's make sure we got the ring of nice of somebody to put a message down there. It's safe here. God, it reminds me of fighting the Red Dragon on Dark Souls original and having to shoot him underneath the bridge about 400 times with an arrow. But then you get that cool dragon stone, man. Very useful. Ragged Robot, thanks for subbing, bro. Thanks a lot, man. Are you a Demon Souls fan? How you doing, bro? Thanks for the sub, man. Oh, okay. Cool. Wow, old school, bro. Upload Studios, man. That was a hell of a thing to be a part of. Yeah, those were the days, man. Making videos. You know, that was such a unique thing to be a part of, too. I was so sad when Microsoft stopped doing it, you know. I feel like if they would have kept with it, they could have, like, competed with YouTube, you know. And it was really cool to have a thing that let us get discovered, you know. I was just, you know, a regular gamer and, you know, made some videos on there, and they were like, hey, you want to do, you know, more videos and stuff. And, I mean, I met so many cool people like Crypto and yourself and, you know, Complex and you know, Acrobatics and Sweet Pea and just so many cool people, man. And That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on that. Oh yeah, it was. It was really a cool thing to be a part of. So many awesome creators like Eric's and he was like the youngest producer with Microsoft, and Andy Newtall. I mean, it was just an awesome group. Mark Shepard and that whole group of people was really cool. You know, I my whole life loved gaming and stuff, and there was never really any outlet to meet anybody, you know, or to do anything in the industry. You know, I mean, hey, I can make a good omelet and stuff like that, but, you know, there are plenty of chefs at the companies, and to actually get involved with it, yeah, no, not at all. If you want to get me on Twitter or anything like that, I'll definitely give you a follow back and stuff. Guys, make sure you open this up, and my messages on Twitch have all been, like, kind of clunky. You can also get me on YouTube here. I'll put a couple of my links in, bro. On Twitter, I'm gonna type in @, but you got to use a little squiggly A @chef_Big Willie. I'll give you a follow back on there if you do it, and we can DM directly and stuff like that. You got to do the underscore, and then on Facebook, you can always get me at Willie Euler. I give you a follow back on there, of course, too. All right, guys, so make sure you open that up. That'll open up your shortcut here. We're actually going to go resupply. That way you don't have to fight that dragon again, guys. You will have to fight your way back up the tower. Yeah, man, E3. You know, that E3 in 2015... Or was that like 2000? Yeah, 2014. That E3, that was like my favorite E3. You know, I've gone to 11 of them, and some of the older ones were really fun. But going there and being like part of the Microsoft like group there for Upload, that was awesome, man. We met like there were so many like just amazing people, and then like getting so much unprecedented access, like gaming with the guys from Infinity Ward or gaming with the guys from Bungie and stuff like that. That was, like I said, I've been there a lot of times, but never ever had an experience like that. And, meeting Major Nelson and AC Bongos and stuff. Those guys were just so cool. I actually went a couple years later. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, at least you made it over on Facebook. I know a lot of people that were doing huge on Mixer, and then like it just closed out on them, man. So at least you pioneered that over onto Facebook, bro. That's big, because I know several people that like basically have stopped streaming, man, because of that closing down and stuff, and that's so sad. You know, I don't know why Microsoft does like what they do when they like close things down. Like I don't understand, because sometimes to me it's like Mixer seemed like a great answer to Twitch, for them, and it was another thing where people could get discovered and I mean I'm not criticizing them or anything like that. I know they have their own thing. I just don't understand it, because it seemed to me like anytime you could, bring people in to do something and be part of something, that it would just grow and, more people would want to get involved, just like how Upload Studios was. But, Microsoft, they got their own thing. I mean, hell, I'm still waiting to see what happens with HoloLens, like, and the Kinect, that's another thing I just don't understand. The Kinect was such a cool thing. And it's like now it's just been played out like you barely see anything trending anymore or any of that. And but Microsoft, they got they're a major company and they got their own things, and I know that they you know, they've got price quotas and stuff like that that they gotta, you know, like ascertain to and stuff. I just don't necessarily understand it. All right, so let's fill back up our fresh spice here because we're going to need a lot of that for what we're going into. Definitely get some late moon grass, full moon grass. We can't carry any more of that. We've got some more half moon grass. Just basically want a lot of stuff, that healing items and stuff like that, and magic get back items. All right, then back to Boletaria. Yeah, you know, and that was just, it was a cool thing, you know. I mean, what's funny is so many, I put so much stuff on hold at that time. I just interviewed for a big job at a winery around the corner that a friend of mine owned, and they were like, yeah, for sure, you know, you can come in there and be our executive chef, and I was, you know, really excited for it. But then, you know, doing that upload thing and trying to do YouTube and everything, I was like, well, you know, will this be a bigger opportunity? So I blew off a great opportunity. I blew off a $80,000 a year job to be a part of all that, and I just didn't see them just ending it the way it ended. And when it ended, I was devastated. You know, I mean, just couldn't believe they, you know. Oh wow. Yeah, no, I've been lucky, you know, all that kind of stuff. I got real lucky. My mom, you know, bless her soul and bless her heart, you know, she battled alcoholism my whole life, and actually got involved in doing a rehab with my stepfather, and they've both passed on now. So that's one of the things I actually do now, is manage this rehab that's in Cyprus. And, you know, I've got a house manager for it and stuff, but at my stepfather's funeral, you know, about 400 different guys came in there, and ladies and gents, but mostly men because it's a men's program. But they came in and they talked about my stepdad helping them get sober, you know, and some of them had been, you know, dealing with addiction and alcohol and different stuff for years, you know, but they liked the program, they worked it, and they got sober, and you know, it was amazing to see, and I'm really lucky. I have a great house manager who's been there since woo, this is a tight spot. Let's get the hell out of here. Don't want one of these guys on each side of us, that's for sure. But yeah, you know, that route, I got lucky. You know, I got to see it firsthand, so it never really got me caught up in it. I had a lot of my friends, great friends from high school, that yeah, man, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. You know, sobriety, it's, you know, like, it's its own reward. You know, that, like, a lot of people. What I always liked about it, and like, I was lucky that I never really suffered from the addiction. Like, I saw a lot of my good friends go to prison and just have the hard time from it and stuff. So I was very fortunate. All right, guys. So now this dragon's going to be up here. What you want to do is, you'll see him like flaming on like he likes to do. Time it, and then run right when he ends his thing, and you can make it through there. He will flame higher. And there's all sorts of good souls and equipment. It takes a little bit of trying to aim it, but I have actually hit that claw before up there with spells, and you can actually pick him off from up there. You can actually take him out with arrows, or you can take him out with spells. And here's a Strava. This is kind of sad right here. If you're going the white route, he'll give you the mausoleum key, and then the Strava passes on, man. It's kind of sad, you know, because like that's like we were saying though with Dark Souls, you know, sadness happens, and then now that he's dead, there will be Estrava's spirit form, and let's go ahead and gear up here. But he actually gave us the mausoleum key, guys, so I'm going to show you where you can use that key. And one more thing, guys, after you go forward here, after this fight with Estrava's spirit, if you go forward and go up the elevator and fight the king, that's in-game stuff. After that, there won't be any more exploring around. So basically, when you've got into this spot, it's if you want to still explore around or level up your character or anything like that, and not go into New Game Plus, you don't want to go forward. So when you kill his spirit there, you get the Rune Sword and the Rune Shield, which are super useful. And that's the Knight Bior down here actually fighting with the dragon.
The fire breather to
There's a bunch of legendary warrior souls. Alright, so we're going to go back, though, to the mausoleum. And I'm not going to do in-game, guys. Basically, the mausoleum's where we're going to finish out today on the broadcast. So I want you guys to experience the in-game yourself in the final fight with the king. And then also the rest of the in-game after that, which I just feel like, you know, it's not that it'd be a big spoiler or anything, because, you know, this game's been out for 12 years, but it's just kind of something that, you know, as players, you guys will want to experience if you're going to experience the game. And, you know, in a couple months, I'll come back and I'll do the fight so that, you know, people who are, you know, everybody's had a chance to play it by then, you know, so it won't be such a big thing. So if you're just playing now on the recreation by Bluepoint. But what I want to show you is where you can use this mausoleum key. You're going to go back to the Gates of Boletaria. And we're just going to kind of fight through these guys up here and stuff like this. Oh, yeah, no. My Uncle Bob, my mom's brother, my mom's younger brother, my Uncle Bob, he's been addicted to different substances for almost 50 years, and it's just such a sad existence he lives in. I feel so bad for him, you know, but he can't stay sober, and he's been another great example, because when I was a kid, I went to the same high school as him, and my uncle was going to be a professional baseball player. He was that good that they wanted him to go to the pros. But during his time in college, he got addicted to, you know, meth and coke and pretty much every, you know, gnarly drug there is. And he just never got over it. And he lost his scholarship in college, and he never reached his potential. So when I was in high school, and, you know, I was pretty good at football and stuff back then, all the coaches that had remembered him were like, dude, don't be a screw up like your uncle. And I was like, oh, I have no desire to be like Bobby. And they're like, that's good, because, you know, he could have been Nolan Ryan. You know, my uncle, he had a freaking 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He had an incredible slow ball and breaking ball. And, I mean, everybody expected him to go pro, and he fucked up his whole life with drugs. And I've talked about him a couple times here in the broadcast, but his daughter, my cousin Amanda, he actually stole her wedding ring on her wedding day. They got him sober. He'd gotten out of prison. He'd been sober for about 3 months, and on her wedding day, he was supposed to give her away, and they let him hold the wedding ring, and he went out the back door and went to Vegas. And my cousin, when they caught him in Vegas, she pressed charges. She had him sent to prison for like 3-4 years because, you know, violation of his probation and stuff. And she don't talk to him anymore at all. I mean, she cut him completely out of her life. And no matter how sober he's gotten or anything, because he'll get sober for a couple months, but he never works a program. He never goes to NA meetings or anything like that. So she won't talk to him. And you know, she's got, you know, she does real well. She runs a tax business like my grandma. And but she's over it, you know, that, like, her whole life of being disappointed by him, she does not associate with him anymore. It's super sad, but at the same time, I understand. You know, you got somebody that, you know, your whole life's, you know, basically, you know, cared about being loaded more than yourself, and that was devastating. I haven't seen her since my mom's funeral this year. I got lucky though, you know. My mom, she basically died from alcoholism, being an alcoholic for 30 plus years, and everything that I tried to do to help her, I couldn't keep my mom sober, you know. And eventually I was sitting here, and I hadn't been over to her house for about a week because she was just on a terrible drinking binge, and I got a knock on my door, and it was the police, and they told me my mom had died. And you know, it because of what happened with COVID, it took a really long time to get the autopsy because all the coroners were super busy. And eventually, when I finally got the full state autopsy, they said my mom died of a massive aneurysm, but that it was brought on by years of drinking. They said that because she'd had different ailments, thrombosis, and a bunch of stuff. And the week before she died, they'd done a CAT scan, and they told her, you know, like, you can't drink. And even 5 years before she died, we'd had to take her to the hospital, and the doctor had told her, look, you could die from drinking at any time. Yeah, well, you know, bro, thank you. And it devastates me. So, like, going this Christmas without her was devastating. January 21st will be 1 year since she passed. And, you know, I know that, you know, I know she loved me as best she could, and I know that she would want me to live my best life, you know, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Thou who seekest the king's sword, I am the old king. Show me thy strength and the power of thy souls.
Okay, so basically this guy's going to test you at this point. Great spell we could have brought would be Death Cloud. Death Cloud works real nice on this guy. Probably should have went and got it. Just do this the old-fashioned way here.
To have impressed one such as me, young knight. I am old King Doran, and thou hast proven thy strength to me. Step forth and take the king's sword in thy hand.
Oh man, I'm sorry for your loss, bro. I know that how that goes. So guys, here's one of the best swords in the game. I know we've said that a lot, but that's how you get the Demon Brant. You come in here and you fight this guy a little bit, and then he will tell you you're worthy and give you the Demon Brant. And it's super powerful. It's one of those swords, like when we talk about powerful swords, let's look at its stats here. Rune Sword's really powerful. Also boost off magic attack there, guys, so you can see that that's definitely... that's the one we got off of Strava's Ghost. And then the Demon Brant right here is really powerful. And again, it's one of those ones that, let's look at the stats on it. It's just a great in-game sword. You don't really have to have high stats to wield it. 18 in strength, 14 in dexterity, and 12 into blessed. All right, guys. Well, that's our playthrough for our Soul Knight here. The only thing left is the final boss in the game, and once you do that, it takes you straight into New Game Plus. So I'm still going to grind this character up a little bit higher, and I'll work on a couple different weapons and stuff like that, so I don't want to do the New Game Plus. But we've walked you through everything else. I stream on Wednesdays, Sundays, and Fridays, or Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays. I try to always be on around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've got a lot going on, though. You know, I work 2 jobs. I also manage the... oh, man, I have not played Call of Duty. I was playing the new one. I was playing the new one... Cold War, but I have not really played the Warzone. I know that's that big like you know, huge open world battle royal stuff, which I think is cool. Yeah, no, we could figure out how to do a cooperative stream on there, bro, for sure. I'm not opposed to that in any way, shape, or form. I can't do it today or anything, but we could definitely figure out how to schedule something on there. Yeah. No, I mean, hey, you're gonna have to carry me. I'm shit at Call of Duty, dude. I suck. my multiplayer games are like World of Tanks. I've been playing some PUBG and stuff like that, and I'm not very good at PUBG. But I'll try. You know, I'll go out there and try. Oh man, for sure. Ah, Battlefield. Well, that's a different story, man. That's a whole nother mistress, man. And then Battlefield, you know, because I played Battlefield. I spent 5,000 hours on Bad Company and 5,000 hours on Bad Company 2 and 5,000 hours on Battlefield 3 and stuff like that. So I got good at the overall theme of Battlefield. I hope they do another one soon. I didn't really care for Battlefield 1. And I didn't really care for Battlefield 5, you know, no disrespect to EA. I just, you know, like going from Battlefield 4 back to those games just felt like I missed the freedom of Battlefield 4. You know, I missed being able to fly a jet and jump into a helicopter, then, you know, parachute out an RPG, a jet flying by. You know, it was kind of fun to just try all sorts of crazy stuff, you know. And I missed that. I didn't get that from Battlefield 1, and I didn't get that from Battlefield 5. So overall, the gameplay was fun in those games, but I just missed that, like, where, you know, you could go on a, like, you know, 50 kill spree in a tank type thing. It just didn't have that feel. It felt more squad orientated. All right, my friends. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of today's broadcast. Raggedy Robot, definitely hit me up on Twitter and, you know, Facebook, whatever you'd like. We can definitely coordinate some stuff. And I do got some plans for, I won't be streaming Wednesday, and then I got some Resident Evil plans for on Friday. But Sunday and next week, I'm sure we could probably figure something out. So about a week from today, we could probably do some Call of Duty or something like that. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today's broadcast. And let's see, over to there.